I'm just kidding, I'm not the driver. Our driver's name is Mark. Can everyone say hi, Mark? Can everyone say thank you, Mark? Can everyone... I'm just kidding. That's enough. It's not all back and forth, okay? It's going to be mostly me talking for 45 minutes. I hope you enjoy. I also have a co-host I want to introduce y'all to. You might recognize him as a former SNL cast member and the host of The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. It's Jimmy Fallon.
Oh, hey there! You made it! Welcome to the Universal Studio Tour. I'm Jimmy Fallon. I'll be making sure that you get through this experience in one piece. You've got the very best guide. And the grandest driver.
Mark!
They're the best. I love them. Even though
Mark.
owes me $5.
What?
I know you guys are excited to get on the tour, but first, a few safety rules.
Jimmy, I didn't know you had a voice like that. Thank you for singing our names. Wow. Let's talk about safety while we are on the tram today. First, if you need guest assistance or have a medical emergency, if you drop something of value off the side of the tram, or if you have any sound or video issues, reach up and grab the red emergency cord that runs along the center of the ceiling of the tram, and I'll be back to assist you as soon as it's safe to do so. Otherwise, during the entire tour, please remain seated, keeping your arms and legs inside the vehicle at all times. The studio is private property, and if at any time during the tour you drop your phone or you just can't wait to use the restroom, pull the cord and remain seated. Please, no smoking or vaping of any kind during the tour. Be prepared. Our tour today features loud noises, fire effects, and many water effects, so you may get wet. There are also sudden tram movements during the tour, so secure your personal belongings and hold on. Finally, for your safety and the safety of those around you, please do not use selfie sticks while you are on board. Okay, now that we're done with safety, we can talk about my favorite subject, Universal. What? That's what this tour is going to be about? Let's go down our timeline here. On the right, you can see some movie posters chronologically giving you a peek into what we've done here over the years. We were founded on April 30th of 1912, and we opened the gates to our studio on March 15th of 1915. You can see photos of our founder there, immigrant Carl Lemley. Look where we are today. We hold 11 Best Picture Academy Awards here at Universal. Our most recent Best Picture was for Oppenheimer. And by the way, if you're watching Oppenheimer and you see a scene and it's in the Oval Office, that scene was filmed right here on our lot inside of Soundstage 19, which we will pass early on in the tour. I will point out that soundstage for you. We are in award seasons right now. We just had the 83rd Golden Globe Awards, where we had some of our very own winners, Jessie Buckley, Hamnet, which is now streaming on Peacock, by the way, and Jean Smart for her work on Hacks. On the left here, we've got a roller coaster, Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift. It should be ready very soon. It's very exciting. Mark's just booed. And on the right here, we have Fire Station 51. This is a real fire station because we have our very own zip code in Universal City. We also have our very own, very real fire station. But Fire Station 51 right there, it is, in a way, one of the last real things that you're going to see for a bit here today. Because honestly, a lot of Hollywood is so fake. But it's fake in a good way, right? We can fake all sorts of things here on the lot, make it all look really real and really cool on the big screens in the theaters and your screens at home. So hopefully today I can teach y'all some really cool behind-the-scenes facts about filmmaking. We're definitely going to see a lot of sound stages. We have 36 sound stages here on the lot. Sound stages were built as the silent film era ended, and we realized we now needed a way to hear actors talking on set. They give us a great controlled environment to film inside of. To the left is our oldest stage, Stage 12, built in 1929. It once housed Dracula's castle and Frankenstein's lab in our classic Universal monster movies. And if we have any Swifties on board, Soundstage 12 is where Taylor Swift filmed her Me music video. Do we have Swifties on board? Okay, we do. You guys are silent, but you're like this. So I see you. Anyway, we'll talk about her again. She's been here a few times. Right now we're in between the theme park and the movie studio. On the right here is the back of Super Nintendo World, home to our friends Mario and Luigi.
Hi, Studio Tour. I'm Charlie Day.
I'm Chris Pratt. Here's a look at our new film, the Super Mario Galaxy movie, only in theaters April 1st.
Only in theaters
finished filming our 4th and final season of our show, Bel Air. Bel Air streams on Peacock. It's a dramatic retelling of the Fresh Prince of Bel Air from the 90s. You can stream all 4 seasons now. And notice how big these stages are, right? It's through those double doors there that we can bring in things like walls, beds, trees, cars, couches, whatever we need to build whatever world we want inside of that stage. At one point we had the entire town of Whoville built inside of Soundstage 12 when we were filming How the Grinch Stole Christmas by Ron Howard. Ron Howard used Soundstage 14 here on your left as NASA's mission control in his film Apollo 13. Inside of this stage too, you know what happened in there? The dinosaur sneezed. In Jurassic Park, y'all remember that? That was right there to your left. And it was one of the main stages used for our show, Superstore. Superstore ran on NBC for 6 seasons and starred now Oscar-nominated actress America Ferrera. Universal Studios is a part of NBC Universal, which is one of the world's leading entertainment companies, which includes Universal Pictures, Focus Features, Peacock, and NBC Television. And this year, NBC is celebrating its 100th anniversary. From trailblazing radio and television to launching The Today Show, The Voice, Saturday Night Live, The Office, The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, and every beloved show in between, NBC has been the home of entertainment, news, and sports for an entire century, and we are celebrating the network all year long. Our very first televised broadcast was in 1939. It was the opening ceremony of the New York World's Fair. Now, of course, we kept up with the times. Like I said, we have our own streaming service, Peacock, and Universal Television Productions is behind countless amazing TV shows. On our right, we're going to pass 16 and 17. These stages are home to our show, Loot. Loot streams on Apple TV and stars Maya Rudolph of SNL and of my favorite movie ever, Bridesmaids. In these very same stages, you might notice some little signs around these stages. We have a show filming season 5 here right now, and that is Hacks, starring Gene Smart and Hannah Einbinder. You can stream Hacks on HBO Max, and that rhymes, and I love that. Now we've got 18 and 19 on the right. Y'all remember 19 from Oppenheimer? Today, these sound stages are home to season 2 of our show, The Paper. The Paper is on Peacock. It's also been airing on NBC. The Paper is a spin-off of The Office. It's as if that same documentary crew went and found Oscar at his new job, which is at a dying newspaper company. It's very funny, I recommend. These stages have also just been home to an upcoming show of ours, 5-Star Weekend, starring Jennifer Garner. Now look to your left. Y'all can say hey to Ted. Hi, Ted. Ted's drinking a beer. Ted is celebrating. Ted's celebrating because he's on TV. Yeah, Ted got his start in the movies. Now he has his very own TV show. And ideas like that, they're developed to your left here inside of these bungalows. These are real production offices where some of our top writers, producers, and directors in town work their magic, get their scripts into shape. I know when you think Hollywood, you might not be thinking about people sitting at a desk working. But office jobs, we have them here too. No, but seriously, we have production offices of Amy Pascal Productions, Dumb for Venom, and No Way Home. We've got Mark Platt Productions here. Mark Platt Productions, they're behind Lionsgate's La La Land. They're behind our newest How to Train Your Dragon movie. And then just outside of the Mark Platt Productions office, you'll notice they have a balloon, and on the balloon there's this lady, she's green. And next to this green lady, there's this lady, she's blonde. She wears a lot of pink. They did Wicked. And Wicked for Good, starring Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande. Pretty cool to look at that office and think, like, that's kind of where the Wicked movie version was born, right? We also have the office of Michael Schur over here. If you don't know who Mike Schur is, he got his start writing on SNL, and then he wrote on The Office, and on The Office he also played Dwight's cousin Mose, if y'all remember that guy. He runs a lot. Well, he went on to co-create Parks and Rec, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. He created The Good Place and Rutherford Falls. He's a producer on Hacks, and he created A Man on the Inside on Netflix, starring Ted Danson, and he literally works just to our left here. Now we've got sound stages 25 and 26, and these look different from the other stages we've seen, right? There's some offices out front. That's just a more modern design of a sound stage. The very first production to use these stages was our 2016 Hairspray Live. They're also nicknamed the Will and Grace stages. It's where we filmed the reboot seasons for that show. Today, all of these offices here, the writer's room, and then the 2 sound stages behind it are all home to our show, St. Denis Medical.
Welcome to St. Denis Medical Center.
St. Denis Regional Medical.
I have access to some really good stuff, and I will hook you up.
Yeah.
No, man. That was a test.
Like the Avengers, you know?
We're not supposed to have favorite patients, but we do.
I almost don't want him to get better.
Pale, kind of blotchy.
It's the other one.
Oh my God, that's much worse. Wow.
St. Denis Medical is hilarious. Personal opinion. If you haven't watched it yet, I personally highly recommend it. Think of me when you watch it. It's so funny. You can stream it on Peacock and it airs on NBC as well. So just to our left here, inside of that stage, both of these stages, that's where they have all of the hospital, right? Everything you just saw on your screen when they were inside of a hospital, that was filmed inside of those two sound stages. But when St. Denis Medical wants to film outside of their hospital, well, they can just step over here, because look at this, we've entered a big city here on our right, look at that. These are our metropolitan sets. Our metro sets are used to represent any major city you can think of. And this red brick building that you're seeing on the right, this is the outside of St. Denis Medical Center. So anytime in the show that you see them going into the hospital, they came out here to film, and then pretty much everything else you see was filmed just behind us inside of those sound stages. Pretty cool to see. I really recommend the show if you're a fan of Superstore, by the way. It's got the same creators and executive producers, Justin Spitzer and Eric Legend. And you'll see a lot of overlap in the actors from Superstore as well. Such a funny show. Anyway, these sets here in our Metropolitan sets, they have been reused and recycled for all sorts of productions. But some of them remain really iconic and really loved. Including this one here. As we are making this turn on your left, we are entering Hill Valley. And that right there is the clock tower where Doc Brown harnessed the bolt of lightning that sent Marty McFly back to the future in, you'll never guess what movie. Back to the Future. Pretty cool to see it in real life, right? This area is called Courthouse Square. It's also been reused and recycled though, but since it's so familiar from Back to the Future, when we do use it in other productions, we really make sure to change up the look of it, whether that's changing up the greenery outside, you know, changing the color, anything we can do. This was also the center of the fictional town Grandview in the hit TV show Ghost Whisperers, starring Jennifer Love Hewitt. At one point we had a giant Eddie Murphy terrorizing this area in a dream sequence in The Nutty Professor. It was Australia in Saving Mr. Banks, so it's been used a lot. And can I tell you guys a secret about these buildings? Yes. They're not real. Like physically they're there, yeah. But they're not real buildings. When you go inside, there's nothing really in them. You can kind of see inside of some of these, right? So we just use these for outside scenes. These are what we call facades, fronts and sides of buildings. Now for my Swifties, really quick, there's a theater right here on our left. At the very end of Taylor Swift's Wildest Dreams music video, she's standing outside of this theater. Jungkook used the same theater in his 7 music video. A lot of music videos have been filmed here on our Metropolitan sets. Just to name a few: Billie Eilish, Tate McRae, Justin Bieber, Eminem, Lady Gaga, Pink, Britney Spears, Michael Jackson. You might have heard of some of them. They've all filmed music videos right here. Now this street that we're on right now, this one specifically is called New York Street, and Jimmy Fallon always steals this part away from me.
Hey everyone, welcome to New York! I got my start right here in New York on Saturday Night Live. This is actually my old neighborhood. Once got mugged over there by an old woman. Tough lady. This is my favorite hot dog guy. Hey buddy, how's it going? Remember me? No. Just like old times. Gotta love New York City. Hey! I'm walking here! I'm walking here! It's cool guys. I was just walking there. So it's not exactly New York, but a lot of times when you see New York in the movies, it was shot right here on the Universal Metro sets. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. Even if you make it here on the Universal lot.
Wow, thanks so much, Jimmy. Our beautiful Metropolitan sets, our New York City, our concrete jungle, if you will. But it's not time for us to talk about the concrete jungle anymore, okay? Now it's time for us to talk about the real jungle. We are heading into Skull Island. And listen, the animals of Skull Island, they do not like flash photography, so please make sure your flash is off, whether you are taking photos or recording during our trip. And I like this turn because I can see cars 3 and 4. Hi. I couldn't see you guys before. Remember me from the screen? That was, yes, okay. Just making sure. Hi. Anyway, back to business. Adventure awaits us, so please remain seated and hold on. Let's head back to Skull Island.
It's the original King Kong that made me want to direct movies. I saw that movie on TV when I was about 8 or 9 years old, and I wanted to become a filmmaker. I like films that just take you away from your real life and sweep you up in adventure. And to me, Kong literally does that. I mean, you're on board the ship, you're sailing to a lost island, you're encountering monsters and creatures from, prehistoric times. So I was thrilled when Universal invited me back to Skull Island. And it's great to have you along for the ride. We're about to return to Skull Island.
Our Our trip to Skull Island is going to be a really cool peek into some visual effects.
Folk. Nobody's lived here for hundreds of years. Why don't they build a wall?
That was King Kong 360. That epic battle you just experienced was designed by Peter Jackson and the team at Weta Effects. Computer-generated imagery and visual effects have been important tools in movie making for many years and have helped build the worlds in some of your favorite Universal pictures, from sci-fi to fantasy to action films and more. It did look like we lost a whole part of people in there, though. Do you guys? We had 5 before. Remember? 1, 2, 3, 4. Mark the entire fifth color song. As we say here in Hollywood, the show must go on. Anyway, remember those Metro sets? We're going to talk about them again. Look at our big city. This here was Chicago once in the Blues Brothers.
When the Pinto fell and you saw it land and make this big hole in the street, that was on the back lot. You dropped it from a crane. You dig like that in Chicago, you...
When people ask me all of the movies I've ever done, what is the most satisfying and the most fun, I've got to say Blues Brothers. We got to sing, we got to dance, got to drive and train with the best stunt people in the world, and got to be an actor and a writer. So it was a good piece of work.
Danny called John America's Guest because just didn't walk in anybody's house.
During the shooting of the movie, John was missing, we couldn't find him.
Danny went off looking for him, saw a light on in this one house, knocked on the door.
I said, sir, we're doing a movie down here, we're looking for one of our actors. Oh, John, yeah, he's on my couch. He came in, he had a snack a couple hours ago, he's sleeping. He was America's Guest. I mean, literally that happened.
Our Metro sets were once modern-day Brooklyn, in some episodes of Brooklyn Nine-Nine on NBC, Mindy Lahiri's neighborhood in The Mindy Project, downtown LA in some episodes of SWAT starring Shamar Moore, London in Fast and Furious, Hobbs and Shaw. This is where Jim Carrey's character lived in Bruce Almighty. So we really like to keep these sets in use. And look at this beautiful brick wall on your left. What do you think it's made of? Brick? Most of these sets are built of hard plastic and plywood. It makes it easier when productions come here to the Universal lot. They can view our metropolitan sets as like a blank canvas. It's a place that looks like a city, right? And then they come in and they totally transform it to be whichever city in whichever time period they need. Have any of you guys ever watched American Ninja Warrior on NBC? Yeah, and then have you been like, whoa, they built that obstacle course in the middle of a big city? That's so crazy, how'd they do that? They did it here, on our metropolitan sets, on the Universal Studios Hollywood lawn. Our beautiful fake city. Yeah! Now, on the right, we're gonna pass by some signs. They read Lion Estates from Back to the Future. And just past those signs, there's a weird little round beige building. You'll see it, it's small, it's weird. This is an underwater tank. We can open up those hatches on the sides there, put cameras up to the windows, and film actors swimming underwater right here. This is where Kramer took a dip once in an episode of Seinfeld. Okay, now turn your heads to the left, because you might recognize this bright red V here. Soundstage 30 and 31 is one massive soundstage where we film our singing competition show, The Voice. If we have any singers on board, I expect to see you in there one day, okay? You got this, I believe in you. Now, you know who was on The Voice? Reba McEntire, the coach. Well, she also works just next door here in sound stages 32 and 33, where she films her show, Happy's Place. And then below that, we've got this beautiful body of water. This body of water, we've got some geese swimming in right now. This is what we call our Hollywood Ocean. Sometimes we call it a lake, a creek, a river, a pond, whatever we need it to be in any production. We can totally transform it for that production, right? This is where we filmed an episode once of Desperate Housewives where a car drove into a lake. It was the Amazon in our 1954 monster movie, The Creature from the Black Lagoon. There's the Gill Man, one of our iconic Universal monsters. Our monsters are really, really important to our history here. Back in like the 1930s, that's when we created our Universal monsters, and they helped really put us on the map. You know, when we created our monsters, people started saying, Universal Studios, they've got it. They're gonna go somewhere someday. So we do owe a lot to our spooky and our scary creatures of Universal. Now, to your right, and then soon to be on your left as we make this turn, there's a house. This house was built for Hallmark's Home and Family, and it's different from the Metro sets we saw. Those were facades, right? Just the fronts and sides of buildings. This house here is what we call a practical set. That means you can film outside, of course. It has a beautiful home exterior, but you can also head inside, and it's a fully functional set indoors too. Now, that's not very common in Hollywood. What's more common is using a soundstage like this one that's in front of us right now. About 80 to 90% of all of the scripted movies and TV shows that you watch are filmed inside of sound stages and not using practical sets or facades or even going out on location. And that's because, like I said at the beginning of the tour, when we're inside of a soundstage, we have a much more controlled environment to film inside of, right? When we're using a practical set like this house next to us and it's like, let's say it's pouring rain outside. Well, what do you hear against your windows if it's like pouring rain outside? That's going to get in the way of production, right? Any sort of outside sounds like that could really get in our way. When we're inside of a soundstage, we don't have to worry about that. We manage time of day, we manage the weather, we manage everything inside of a soundstage. Now, this is a really cool part of the tour. We can usually only do it on weekends, but today the production is out of, they're filming on a location, I don't know where, but somewhere else in LA. And they are so kind and generous to open up their soundstage for us when they're not here. So I'm not going to tell you the name of the production filming, but you are free to take photos and videos as long as your flash is off while we are inside. So we can see what the art department did in here, right? They took a completely empty soundstage and created a subway station in San Francisco. I hear they're doing a scene where an earthquake hits. That's why there's like, oh no. Oh no. Everyone remain seated, hold on. always know what to say. You've just survived Earthquake, the big one. That attraction originally opened back in 1989 and just reopened about a year and a half ago after we updated all the props and movie-making equipment, brought it into the 21st century. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Mariana, you lied to us when we went in there. Said that was a real set of things that happened to not be here today. I did lie to you. But only because I really wanted to. Now we are just about halfway through our tour, so I just want to remind everybody to please stay seated during the entire tour. The studio is private property. If you drop your phone or you just can't wait to use the restroom, pull the red cord to get my attention and I will be back to assist you, but please do remain seated on the tram. Our next stop is a beautiful New England resort town. Every single day here in Amity Island feels like the 4th of July. What's up? You've seen Jaws? Don't worry about it, they got the shark. We're safe. Oh, in fact, my friend George, he's a diver. He's in there diving today. If y'all see him, be sure to say hi to him, okay? Seriously, everything should be fine. As long as we don't hear spooky music. As you know in movie making, spooky music is usually a cue that something's going, oh, that's a shark. George? George, there's a shark. Swim away, George, what are you doing? George? George, okay, he's a goner. No one freak out, we're fine. Tram. Okay, now that we all just survived a shark attack together, what better than a pop quiz, am I right? Don't raise your hand, just fill out the answers. Let's see. First question. Who can tell me what kind of shark that is? Great white? No, that's a robot. I told you guys everything here was fake. That was like the first thing I said. Y'all were screaming though a little. I was like, ah! That's an example of a practical effect, different from the term practical set from earlier, but practical effects in movie making, they're the kinds of effects that happen just like that in front of our eyes while we're on set filming something. They're different from, computer generated effects or like CGI that are put in the editing process. Both can be lots of fun. Practical effects are great to spook and scare an audience with a shark jumping out of the water, or by making a tram full of people feel like they're going through an earthquake inside of a subway station, inside of a soundstage, totally unexpected because their guide didn't tell them that was going to happen. We can also use practical effects to do something a lot more simple. Say, for example, we want to change the weather. Well, we don't know how to do it, but we know how to fake it. If we want it to rain, we can create our very own Hollywood thunderstorm. That's what we're going to do for y'all right here in our beautiful old Mexico sets. We use sound for thunder, lights for lightning, and for the rain, we use something that a lot of y'all are probably pretty familiar with. Y'all have them in your front yards. We have them up high on poles. Sprinklers. Shoot the water in the air, you let it fall, it looks like rain, right? Rain helps to set the tone of a scene. Rain can be so sad and heartbreaking. Rain can also be so romantic. Think of those kisses in the rain. Those scenes would not be the same if it was sunny that day. Ew, a kiss in the sun? Boring. But now we can all just enjoy the rain. Although it is raining a lot, huh? Raining a little more than normal. I'm sure it's fine. It's not like it's gonna flood or anything. That is our flash flood, a practical effect established here back in 1968. That's over 10,000 gallons of water. You can see the flash flood on your screens right now in my childhood classic film, The Big Fat Liar with Paul Giamatti. And you can also spot the flash flood in Lady Gaga's Judas music video. Go rewatch that music video and think about the fact that Lady Gaga did not use a stunt double for it. Alright, now we're going to drive by Amity Island one more time. No shark attack, okay, this time. But you do have a message from someone special. It's Steven Spielberg.
The Jaws ride was almost the inevitable result of the size of the box office when Jaws first opened in June of 1975. And that was really the first time I ever got involved in the creation of a ride. It was a great honor to be invited into a greater circle of tremendous designers at Universal that were trying to figure out how to replicate what the movie had done to audiences in a real way by building a physical shark that would come out of the water and terrify tourists as they were sitting in the crab.
We are now in our residential area of the lot here. To the left, that yellow house was Boo Radley's house and To Kill a Mockingbird. And to the right is the Chicken Ranch. This house was built for the 1982 movie musical The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, starring Dolly Parton, where she famously sang I Will Always Love You, which I now will perform in full. I'm just kidding. This is another practical set. Like that other house we saw, you can film inside and outside of it. But her neighbor house, that one's a facade. You can also spot the Chicken Ranch in LMFAO's Sorry for Party Rockin' music video. Y'all remember that song, right? You don't need me to sing it. What? Sorry, I'm just kidding. This here is Colonial Street, a gorgeous street with some gorgeous homes that you can't live inside of because most of them are facades. Some of you may recognize this street as Wisteria Lane from Desperate Housewives.
If there is one thing everyone in suburbia can appreciate, it's a good neighbor.
Now, this street was most recently used in our brand new series, The Burbs, on Peacock.
Welcome to Ashfield Place, the safest town in America. So, what's the deal with that Victorian hearse? There have been whispers of murder. Which one of us is the murderer? So we're gonna go in?
Do white ladies love salads? Hell yeah, we're going in.
The Burbs is based on the 1980s film of the same title that starred Tom Hanks and also filmed right here on Colonial Street. A very exciting new show on Peacock. You know what else films here a lot? Commercials. Yeah, all sorts of commercials film on Colonial Street. Even Beyonce has been here to film a Super Bowl commercial once. And this yellow house that you're seeing here on your right, Susan Mayer's house in Desperate Housewives, this is also Davy's house in Netflix's Never Have I Ever. Next to it, we've got the original house from The Munsters from the 1960s. And on the left is Ted's house from Ted's TV show. Season 2 is streaming on Peacock right now. And if driving down the street has you singing All Star by Smash Mouth in your head, you cannot figure out why. But this is where they filmed the music video for that song, so maybe that's why. Now it's time for us to leave Colonial Street, get back to the street we were just on, Steven Spielberg's ride, the longest road we have here on the lot. We think it's named appropriately considering our long relationship with him, and it kind of all started on the same tour you're on today.
My entire career began with my relationship with Universal Studios just as a high school kid on a tour bus. Remember, in those days, there weren't trams, there were buses called the Gray Line Tour Bus. And I was so excited and thrilled to be on the lot. This was my first time ever on a movie studio lot. And during a bathroom break, I hid in the bathroom, and when everybody left to get back on the bus, I waited another 15 minutes until I'm sure the bus left, and then I had the entire lot to myself that day. And in those days, movie lots were so crowded because all movies were made on film lots. Today they're made all over the world, on locations, but most of it was focused in those days, in the 60s, on the film lots. So nobody noticed me when I was going around from sound stage to sound stage.
Don't even think about it. I don't know how you got away with it then. You won't get away with it today. I'm here now. Now we are just about 15 minutes away from the end of the tour, and we will be returning to the theme park shortly. So once again, if you have an emergency, pull the cord and I'll be back to assist you, but please remain seated on the tram. Now here we are in our picture car area. Picture car is just the industry term for any vehicle you see on your screen, but these are some of our biggest car stars.
Yo, tengo Calderón.
You know, most of these cars are drivable. Oh, speaking of driving, did anybody drive in from out of town? Do you need a place to stay tonight? We have a motel right here on the lot. No one ever wants to stay here, though. This motel has 12 rooms, and it always has 12 vacancies. It's the Bates Motel from Alfred Hitchcock's 1960 film Psycho. And no, there's Norman Bates. Hi, Norman. He kind of like runs the place. Are you okay, Norman? You look nervous. Oh, he's going inside. Okay, good. Sorry, I don't know what it is about him. He just kind of creeps me out, you know? Ugh, what is he doing now? Oh, is he helping a lady out to her car? What a gentleman! Look at him with her. Oh, chivalry is not dead. But she is. Okay, I misread that and that's on me. Oh, hi, Norman. We didn't see anything. It's fine. Yeah, it's totally fine. We won't say anything. We will just drive away and be totally safe. Why are you looking at us like, that's a knife? That's a knife. Drive, Mark. Mark, drive faster. He's going to get the last car. Mike. Mark, please.
Oh, my God.
He's still looking at us. Are you guys okay? I am so sorry. That was so unprofessional. I've never seen him do that before. Well, now here on the left is the Psycho house. This one is like a facade, but it's what we call a shell set because it has all four walls, but nothing really on the inside. Now we go from Hitchcock to Spielberg as we enter the crash site from Spielberg's 2005 film, War of the Worlds.
Perfect example of a set that is all designed around forget and sit down and talk about War of the Worlds. I thought, what if it said we're Benedict right in a big neighborhood? Because it's just something you don't see.
You're doing good. You're doing good. Listen to me. Listen, listen, I want you to close your eyes, okay? Stay close to me. Bobby, get in. Get in.
But they're not the only stars that have been here. Ariana Grande was here not too long ago. She used the War of the Worlds set in her short film Brighter Days Ahead on YouTube. It's at about the 12-minute mark. You see Miss Ariana walking where we are right now. Nicki Minaj and Rihanna filmed their Fly music video using this crash site back in 2011. Father John Misty's Babylon music video was filmed here. This set has been used in an episode of Community on NBC, Hacks on HBO Max, a sketch by Key and Peele. And if you're looking at this plane and you're thinking like, whoa, this looks really real. It kind of is. This is a real airplane. Steven Spielberg's team purchased a retired commercial aircraft for $60,000, paid $200,000 to ship it out here. It didn't look like this, right? They destroyed it for this scene. They created this amazing set, and they used it in just about 4 minutes of the entire movie. And then to the right here, this neighborhood that you're seeing, it's based on the before scenes, which were filmed in a real neighborhood in New Jersey. So they replicated those buildings for the crash.
Okay.
And when this isn't being used as a set, this airplane crash is used to train search and rescue dogs because it looks so real, because it's a real airplane. So that's a pretty cool little fact, I think. Now, I did mention Key and Peele did a sketch here, right? Y'all know those names? Peele of Jordan Peele. Well, he's known for his films Get Out, Us, Nope. Quite an icon, if I may say so myself. Y'all know his movie Nope?
What's up, Studio Tour? I'm Kiki Palmer from Jordan Peele's film, Nope. What's a bad miracle? Well, you'll have to see our movie to answer that one.
And we are going to drive through the real-life sets used in Nope.
Movie magic only happens when a team of collaborators, often in the hundreds, work together to take an impossible notion and bring it to life. This is Jupiter's Claim, a nostalgic, small-time Southern California amusement park owned by former child star Ricky Jude Park. Over there, look into the winking well. Have your picture taken just like the kids in that old 90s movie Kid Sheriff. That's what this whole place is loosely based on. Remember that one? No? What? A little further down, you can see the brand new Star Lasso experience. Built to showcase an unbelievable new live show. Not so live. Anyway, Behind this Hollywood fantasy, old rugged frontier town hides a sinister secret. Welcome to the world of no.
Movie, you're recognizing a lot of those sounds that we just heard, and everybody's always but that was the power of sound design. I think sound design is such a cool, underrated, under-talked about part of filmmaking because literally everything that you watch has been sound designed. It could be an action movie, a horror film, a comedy. On the day of production, we're only really catching the dialogue, right? Like what the actors are saying into their little microphones they have hidden in their clothes. Everything else you hear has been put in the editing process. Okay, now up ahead to the right is kind of like a ginormous blue wall, you see it? Just under the wall, there's some dips in the ground like pools that we can fill with water. It's where we filmed this scene here from Psycho. Of course, we would move all of those trucks out of the way to film these. Well, the wall was added in the 1980s as a painted backdrop. You can see those clouds are painted on there for this film, Jaws the Revenge. And then after that, it's become kind of like a green screen, or a blue screen, if you will, where we can digitally add in backdrops to the water sequences that we film here on the lot. Christopher Nolan came here to film parts of Dunkirk. You know, Harry Styles was in Dunkirk. I only just say because Harry Styles filmed his Falling music video right here. And Beyonce filmed her Formation music video here. Speaking of music, don't we all love the music in the movies?
Time to rock and roll. Bring the noise. What do you got here? Alright guys, now let's listen to Blues recipe. Watch me for the changes and then try to keep up. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Singing on in the double rain. She knows how to sing that thing down. You know you make me wanna.
And I will always love all of you. But that is the end of the world famous Universal Studio Tour. If we have any past members on board with us today, thank you for being a past member. If you're not one but you're interested in becoming one, you can head over to the Universal box office, find out how to upgrade to an annual pass, so you can come back again and again and again, and you can take my tour again and again and again, and you can be like, wow, that tour guide Mariana is so cool and fun and interesting. Thank you, that's so nice of you. Be sure to download the Universal Studios Hollywood app if you haven't already. It's got great info on there like park hours, today we close at 6, mobile food ordering, wait times, a map, and more. Plan to come back this April and May to experience the park in a whole new way. Step into the iconic worlds of Scooby-Doo and the Universal Monsters, One Piece, the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, and more at Universal Fan Fest nights, where sci-fi, fantasy, anime, and gaming collide into one epic after-hours celebration every event night. To find out more and to purchase tickets, visit UniversalStudiosHollywood.com. And if you're interested in watching any of the movies or TV shows that you heard about on the tour today, you can head over to UniversalPicturesAtHome.com, find out where to rent, stream, or buy any of these titles. Now, on behalf of myself, Mariana, our driver Mark, and everyone else here at Universal, thanks again for joining us. I hope you all had a great time. I hope you learned something new. I hope you saw something cool. And I most certainly hope that we have at least one future filmmaker on board who just saw everything up close. And now you're thinking to yourself, you're thinking like, wait, I could do that. Yeah, you can. I believe in you. Just think of me when you win your Oscar, okay? You don't have to say anything about me. Just think of me. I'll know. I don't know how yet, but I'll figure that part out. All right, please remain seated until the gates are open for you. And as we say here in Hollywood, that's a wrap.